This is part 16 of our Link to the Past 100% walkthrough, and this part we're going through the first part of Skull Woods. And actually before that, we'll get a heart piece on Death Mountain, then we'll go to Skull Woods, we'll get the map, the compass, and the big key, but not the item.
I'm just gonna let you keep going for a while.
I feel good. I feel good. Hey man, I think we can both say behind the scenes, it's good to be back.
It is, absolutely.
I don't know if you all know what's been going on behind the scenes, but I just had a baby, so we've kind of been off for a month or so. So it's just good to be back.
It really is.
Now you can talk, Red.
Well, I just like we're really at the point in this game now where we're just going from dungeon to dungeon without doing much in between. As you mentioned, we are gonna grab a heart piece in this one before heading to the Skull Woods. But I think here in a couple of videos, we just go straight from one dungeon to the next. I mean, we've collected most of the overworld items we're gonna get.
Yeah. Now, I used to always kind of do like I used to start the videos on the dungeons.
Yeah.
We kind of got to this point in this game where I was like, well, if I do that, I'm gonna have like a bunch of 1-minute videos. So, and this is the point. I can't remember exactly if we did that with Swamp Palace or not, or maybe
I don't remember
Palace of Darkness. But I think this is the point where I got to where I was like, well, I'm gonna have to start doing some stuff actually before the dungeon in the dungeon parts.
And this is kind of a little bit of a long walk to
not
get
that was important or anything like that, but
but still, I mean, yeah, no one really wants 1 minute. Well, actually, you might only want 1 minute of us. That's
best video ever.
Yeah, but we kind of have to take a long hike to get like to Death Mountain and Skull Woods entrances. I just feel like there's no good way to get there quickly.
Well, there should be a warp like in the Light World. We had that bird that we used in the flute. Like we should have a warp like that in the Dark World, and there's really no warps. Like we have to go back to the Light World, warp all the way over here, and just I feel like it's very unnecessary to have to walk all the way over here in Death Mountain in the Dark World.
I agree. That was one really nice point about like Link Between Worlds is they gave you could ride on the Witch's Broom to warp around whether you're in Hyrule or Lowrule. So I really liked that.
I just don't understand like why they had it in the Light World and not the Dark World. Like in most of the games, like you'll have like the warping towards like the end, like that like later half of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas this one like put it all not towards the front because we continually go back to the Light World, but I just can't believe they didn't do anything in a Dark World with warping.
Now this heart piece is an interesting one because you can see it right there on the ledge out in the open, but you can't get it unless you have the magic cape because there's no other way to get past that bumper that we're wearing.
That puzzle, well, not really a puzzle, that took me forever to figure out my first couple of times playing. I was like, I don't know how in the world you get past this bumper.
Yep.
And then like me in football, I kept on trying to go through things and it just never worked out for me. So
your offensive line was not opening up a hole for you.
Well, I don't know if it's all the offensive line, but
well, now the Skull Woods is pretty low on my list of dungeons.
Yeah,
and I think a big part of it for me is how confusing it can be.
I think one of the first things we'll mention is like the theme actually outside the Skull Woods.
Yeah,
like in the Light World, Lost Woods had like its own theme.
Yeah,
and like when we got to Skull Woods, actually in the Dark World, it actually has the same theme as Death Mountain. I think both of us agree that we wish that would be like its own unique theme.
I agree because especially the theme in the Light World, Lost Woods, was a really good theme in my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed not to get something a little bit different.
Now, one thing I do love about this dungeon, and I'm actually not a fan of it overall either, but one thing I really do like is the whole inside-outside that we do throughout the dungeon. It's just a really unique dungeon in the game because of that.
It is. It also makes for a confusing dungeon, though, because there are many entrances and exits, and almost all the entrances are like you're either falling down holes, or you're walking in like these little stone mouths or skulls.
I'll never forget when we started, like, two guys playing Zelda, like, I don't know, 3-something years ago.
It's been a while.
The first dungeon you ever recorded was this one. I'll never forget you walked in.
Oh, it was terrible.
Almost got killed right away by a Bari, and like you just struggled throughout the entire dungeon. But like you said, it is really confusing.
It is, but one thing that comes in very handy in this dungeon, and actually in the next couple of dungeons, is that Bombos medallion. You're going to see us use it a ton, mostly because like these are they hard hat beetles?
Yeah, hard hat beetles.
And the Gyptos are kind of a pain to kill with just your sword.
The Gyptos are a pain because you got to hit them numerous times, and sometimes you're going to kill all the enemies on the screen and then use it with one enemy left, which I actually did a couple times in this recording. I wasn't sure why I did that thing. I just eventually lost my patience and said, oh, the heck with it.
Exactly. But the Bombos medallion is really handy in this dungeon. And something else we kind of mentioned at the beginning of this
part. The Bombos medallion is handy overall in the entire game. Like, it kills every enemy on the screen.
Yep. We mentioned
we need that in numerous other Zelda games, actually.
God. Yeah, we did. But we mentioned how we're going to get, like, the map, the compass, the big key, all very quickly in this dungeon. And that's something that we don't always get. is that we can get those 3 items like within the first few
But it happens in the next dungeon too. But you are
it
right.
Actually does, yeah.
We usually don't get that fast. Now I don't know if you saw that rope that just drilled me when I came running out right there. And then you'll see those bushes right there. I'll actually slash those a couple times.
Yeah.
Like when I was practicing, every time those bushes had a fairy, and of course, when you start recording, that's not exactly what happens. I never end up getting a fairy out of that.
And as it turns out, a fairy would have come in handy in this dungeon, as
struggled,
you'll see in the next part.
When I was practicing, I knew there wasn't a lot of heart pieces throughout the dungeon because like I was getting low on hearts every single time I practiced. So I was trying my best during the recording to heat my hearts up and just could not pull it off. But I don't get beeping hearts until the very end of the dungeon, which whatever, the boss is hard.
Now there was one instance right there where we killed all the enemies but one before we finally busted out.
And then about got cash about Wall Master, and that's one thing.
Hate the Wall Master.
I mean, we've always talked about how much we hate Wall Masters, but this one is just a pain because one, it kind of keeps on coming like pretty consistent, like pretty quickly.
It really does.
And then when you kill it, like it just it doesn't it comes right back and it doesn't stay away for a little while.
It's annoying. I feel like in some of the later Zelda games, when you kill the Wall Master or Floor Masters, they stay away mostly just Wall Masters.
Yeah.
They stay away a little bit longer. In this game, it's just it doesn't matter.
It's like you don't even kill it really. So it's a pain having to keep on sitting there and dodging it numerous times. And
especially while you're moving that statue like we were in the previous room, and it almost got you.
Well, that one time, I went forward, I went backwards, and he almost got me right there. But just one of those things. I mean, it was unique for the dungeon. I don't think we get that until maybe later in Gans Tower. I'm not really sure. Right. It might be in another dungeon too. I don't know, but I just know it's not in main dungeons in this game. So it did present a unique aspect, like in that regards. But don't care for it still.
Another thing I do like about this dungeon, along with like the indoor-outdoor, it really does look with like the overgrown vines and things like that on the wall. It really does look like we're underground in the woods. They did a great job of making it look a little bit like an overgrown like ruin type thing.
And the color fit the dungeon obviously very well. Like we're in the Skull Woods, and then you go down in there, and there's some dark green that goes along with the dungeon.
But this will go ahead and wrap up part 16 of Link to the Past.